What's up, everyone? Alex here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I wanted to talk about why I call myself a demiboy. I came out as a demiboy in 2017, somewhere around there. I think it was 2017. And when I first heard about the word, I heard about it before, but it really kind of I kind of connected with that term when I was dating someone who was a demiboy, and like I had heard about this term, and then dating this person kind of made me more aware of that label. So I was like, I found myself looking at this label on like the gender wiki sites, and looking at like the flag and the history of like the term being coined and all that. And I found myself really connecting with this word. I have tons of videos where I talk about being a demiboy and how that came to be, why I use that label, like what it means to me. But when I say, why do I call myself a demiboy? Why do I use that label when there's so many other labels that refer to my identity, like, the bigender label? Like, why call myself a demiboy still to this day? So malehood has always been incredibly important to me. I had a video where I talked about what masculinity meant for me, and in a way, yeah, it does tie into my malehood. I never want to view malehood as an intrinsically masculine experience. I am still very stubborn about that viewpoint. Like, that's fine if that's someone else's experience, but I never want to say like, oh, male, that's a masculine gender, and female is a feminine gender. It just feels like we kind of created a new box for these genders after having broken ourselves out of those constraints. So I don't want to say that like my masculinity is tied to my malehood because boy, like because that's what's expected. But for my particular situation, malehood's always been important to me because that's what I want to pass as a safety thing. If I ever express my gender in a different way, if I'm going more like feminine or more like gender non-conforming in general, more neutral, not necessarily androgynous, but more like soft mask or leaning more away from masculinity, I want to be seen as a gender non-conforming man. I want to pass as a man, no matter how I'm expressing myself, no matter what kind of labels I'm using, pronouns, whatever. Malehood is still like the very center of my identity. It always will be. I consider myself mostly male, probably like a 75-25 split or 80-20 split. I know a lot of people might view their gender that way. I never really considered the math behind it, but I know that it's mostly male, pretty high up there, leaning pretty heavily into the boyness of my identity. I do gotta say though, using the word boy for my identity, using the word demi-boy and not demi-man or demi-guy, starting to feel weird as I get older. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be saying demi-boy. Yeah, to this day, I still call myself a demi-boy, even though I do have a number of other gender labels I use. I call myself bigender or non-binary man, part male, part neutroy, things like that. Nutramale is another one that I've really found myself connecting with. It's one of my favorite flags that I've ever made is the Nutramale flag. Nobody else made, someone now probably has made a flag for that identity, but like I made a flag for that identity and a lot of people liked it, probably because the colors were really nice. They kind of blended together and it really solidified the idea of malehood and neutrality coming together into one, like they kind of stick together. That feels very much like my experience where like one really doesn't exist without the other. They're pretty intrinsically tied. I don't call myself non-binary. I call myself a non-binary man. I don't always just call myself bigender. I'll call myself a bigender man. I like to also normalize that kind of language where it's like, yeah, I'm non-binary, but like, don't degender me. Don't just like assume that everything is completely ungendered for me. I'm a very much gendered individual, and I would like to be seen as such. The malehood is important, though being seen as like non-binary neutral. There's not really a noun for that. Man is the noun for like being male, but there isn't really one for neutroi that I know of, other than like neutral words like person. But yeah, I don't normally call myself like a non-binary neutroi person or anything like that. That feels very weird. Demi neutroi, technically correct, but not a term that I really relate to, even though it is technically accurate. It's just Demiboy. It always has a place in my heart. I love the flag, obviously. I love the Demiboy flag, and I like the Demiboy experience. So that's pretty much it. It's kind of normal to use more than one gender label, and you're not, like, obviously, if you're multi-gender, you're going to use more than one label, you know, per gender. Like, I am boy and also girl, but you might also use other similar terms to refer to being both of those things, being bigender, being non-binary, like whichever. It depends on the person's preference, but I do use a number of labels. 4, 5, 6 different labels, even though I only have 2 genders. Like, that's just kind of how I like to do it. But yeah, that's why I call myself Demiboy. I have a real connection with that term, and I want to keep using that. But that's pretty much it. Demiboy, do you have an experience like this? Like, is this something that you can relate to? Like, do you use multiple labels, or do you find yourself using a specific label more often than your other labels? Like, I would love to hear about it, like comment and everything. I will be trying to make more video content. I just really haven't been feeling it. Literally, like, the past couple of years, I've just really, like, just put that aside because I've got so much other stuff going on in my life. But hopefully I can get back into things, weekly videos. I can't make any promises. Like, this is not 2016 Alex with a gaming channel and like high hopes for gaming YouTube. Like, we could see how that's going. Like, unless your name is Mark or Jack, you're not going anywhere on gaming YouTube. So that's about it. I am signing off for now. See you later.